Welcome to Skumcast.
Welcome back to part 3. Well, this time part 3. Tyler has a very important topic to discuss.
Does it
So go
involve
ahead.
clubbing baby seals?
No. It can.
Damn it. All right, end the podcast.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Get out of my house.
There is something that we have been discussing for almost to this point, many years.
It's yours.
It's been years. We've been discussing.
Between you both?
Between the two of us
Okay.
and so certain people that we consider in our close group.
All right.
We've asked them this one question that I think is not... I think is very important to have as a musician.
So you're going to ask us this question.
I'm going to ask you guys this question, and
Okay.
I want a different answer. I want an answer from each of you,
Okay.
dependent on your position, if you can. If you can save, each of your things without being, influenced by the other person.
Okay. The guest gets to pick who goes first.
Okay, perfect.
So who
So I
you're
know
going to
who
direct
I'm going
this
to ask.
question
I
to.
want to ask Eddie first.
Oh, you want... Okay, so get Eddie on here.
Just real quick. I think Eddie has a really good answer because I think we see eye to eye on a lot of things.
All right.
No. Just kidding. All right. I'm curious. What's the question?
The question is, what is heavy?
Oh.
That is
Oh.
that
buddy.
is a good question. In my opinion, okay, so I could go two ways with this, which I'll say both.
Okay.
Heavy, meaning the actual construction of the song itself. So what I mean by that is you could have a very soft song but a heavy topic, which would make the song a heavy song because you'll feel the emotions heavy. So for example, you could have a band, something like I Prevail, something very soft, and they have a song DOA, which is Dead on Arrival. It's a very heavy song. You feel the emotion, especially being somebody dark-skinned. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. So that song, I would say, is a heavy song. Or I could go the other way and say, heavy in my mind because of what I listen to. It could be anything in the metal realm. And what I mean by metal is anything that's not exactly rock. So nothing you'd hear on like daytime 98 KUPD, more so like, the nighttime shows. It could be, I see metalcore as heavy at times. I see deathcore as heavy. I see death metal as heavy. I see black metal as heavy. So what I don't think a certain part of it, like I don't think vocals or drums or guitar, I don't think it's an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the overall song itself, the genre itself. So it could be the emotions, it could be the genre. So I think metal as a whole is a heavy genre, but also the other side of it could be emotional songs. You feel heavy.
So do you think that music gets a pass that it's heavy because it's metal, or does it depend on the band itself to be heavy?
I don't know about a pass.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure if I'd call it a pass.
So
but
I would ask, say, like comparison, right? Say this band is heavier than this band. Why?
Okay,
Say for example,
okay.
like Lamb of God is heavier than Alcest. Why?
And
Okay.
who?
Alcest.
Alcest.
We're
That-
talking about them.
The
So-
Black Gaze Man.
Oh, okay.
That I could say the same argument to that is it depends on what you're asking, because the lyrical content of Alcest and the emotions behind their songs are very heavy. And I've been a fan of Alcest since forever. So in that case, it would be, I see their content as heavier than Lamb of God, but the
Emotionally
music,
heavy,
yeah,
right?
emotional heavy. But
So let me throw you a curveball.
Yeah,
With that
yeah.
being said,
mm-hmm.
is the song "Alive" by Pearl Jam heavy?
That is a curveball.
I don't listen to that band.
Get
You
out.
know-
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
At
Pearl
my
Jam-
own house?
Pearl Jam is a band that you must listen to.
Oh,
No,
definitely.
But
I'm sure I've heard the band. I just can't name a song. I don't like a lot of old shit.
That's
Is that song not heavy? That's my reasoning for this kind of questioning is because I don't think that bands that are heavy or the bands that are labeled as metal or rock or whatever, they can't just, they're not heavy because you're playing fast or like any other sort of like specific thing. Like it's kind of the overarching, like you were saying, like emotion of the song. That's my perspective personally.
But there is a certain musicality though to being heavy and what makes stuff heavy, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, say Lamb of God versus Alcest or versus Pearl
yeah,
Jam.
exactly. So in that case, I guess that would, my answer to that song would be, I feel that it is a heavy song because of the emotion. But at the same time, it also depends on the person asking the question on what they're meaning by it. So if it kind of, that kind of is the defining line between it, because you can't just say like, oh, is this song heavy? Well, what do you mean by heavy?
Right.
So if your meaning is it heavy to me, well, my opinion is going to be different than yours. So do I feel emotion in this song? Do I feel it heavy? Then yeah, this song is going to be heavy to me.
For sure.
If you're talking about musicality, then yeah, Lamb of God is heavier than Alcest. And the reason why I would say that is because of the musicality of it. You know,
But what makes it heavier? Like if you could pinpoint, say this makes Lamb of God heavier than Alcest, because I mean they're playing what, guitar, bass, drum, vocal in both bands. What's the A/B difference here?
They're identical in most ways,
Yeah.
just musicality.
This might be a very weird way of putting it, but it's kind of like heavy. I don't know, because it's not really my opinion to put it this way either. Because I was gonna say, like, could you see people in the pit at an Alcest show? Probably not. At a Lamb of God show, yeah. So but in my opinion, that doesn't really define it being heavy, because my opinion is the emotion thing, and that the emotion thing kind of plays a lot more than the musicality in my mind. So if somebody were to ask me like, yo, is this band heavy? Well, I'll be like, well, to me, yeah, because, you know, the music is heavy. It's emotional. So, yeah, that is kind of hard to say when it comes to that question. So,
You're probably not gonna like my answer.
Fuck yeah. That's why I'm asking.
hell yeah.
So, like, basically what I'm trying to get at is, like, what makes you tick? You know what I mean? Like, when you write a song, I'm the complete opposite of, like, I want to play the most technical, fast, like, brrr, like, I don't want to do any of that. If it makes sense to me emotionally,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that will
Exactly.
dictate to me whether or not it's heavy.
And
So-
I'm exactly the same way. And it also, I'll segue a little bit real quick. I don't want to take time away from their answers, but I listen to
you.
everything. So, like, I listen to everything except for country. So I listen to rap. I listen to pop. Like, I can go from listening to a Katy Perry song to listening to Cannibal Corpse.
Exactly.
And so that's why I get that ideology of, you know, a song can be heavy without it being, you know, metal. Because there's times where I'm chilling with a friend or something and I show him a song. Like, let's say last week I showed my friend Ronnie a song by MGK. It's an older song. Well, not really old. It was when Chester passed away. And he name dropped Chester in it. And it's heavy to me. Like, I felt it emotionally. So when I told him about the song, I'm like, yo, this is a heavy song. So, like, in my mind, the emotional part of it weighs more than the musicality. So,
Oh, yeah. That's a
Alright.
good-ass answer.
I think Jacob should go next.
Okay, let's hear Jacob.
Let's hear what Jacob has to say.
What
I'm
is
gonna save
heavy?
mine for last because I don't think anyone's gonna like my answer.
What is heavy to Jacob?
So I mean,
Oh, please tell us, Jacob. I want to know.
I kind of agree with Eddie with that, because it all depends on the person. Because, like, I mean, if you fucking ask a you know, a standard dad that goes to Disturbed concerts, like, he's gonna say, oh yeah, that's the true metal right there.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it kind of does go into, like, oh, what are the lyrics on, or are you going by the music kind of thing?
Well, what if
Yeah,
you
it's
don't know
not-
the lyrics? Though?
It's not like a so like the question isn't really like a factual. It's more of just me like asking, what's in your opinion heavy?
If you want to ask me more on a personal side, I think if you were to ask, like, us as Forsaken Scum, releasing all of our stuff the most heavy thing, in my opinion, that I wrote for this band is probably the pop punk song that I wrote. I don't know, man. Forced Emotions. Because it's basically about how you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone that's going to just control you and change your personality. And it's basically just calling you an idiot if you're going to stay in a relationship where you're changing your personality for this person. Like our other stories on Forsaken Scum. Forsaken Scum itself is basically about, it's like Goosebumps. It's like different horror stories or different stories about anything.
Yeah, like
But-
Freedom of a Fantasy is about dystopian future.
You read that book 1984 or know anything about it?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's like that. Yep.
So-
Big Brother. Yep.
Yeah.
Step right up, for example, Killer Carnival, The House with 1,000 Corpses, Ominous Presence, basically is about a monster on a mountain, if I remember correctly. I'm not the lyricist. I don't know. Remember.
Yeah. So I mean, if you were to ask like instrumentally, what's the most heavy? I would say Ominous.
Yeah.
But I mean, the overall heaviest song I think that is out right now by us is I Don't Know Man's Forsaken Scum, or I Don't Know Man's Forced Emotions. Jesus.
I'm gonna ask you what Gavin asked me. So in that case, why would you say, in musicality terms, why would you say that Ominous is our heaviest? What to you makes that heavy versus our other songs?
Yeah, it's basically people describe, like, if you're going to go by the trend and stuff, I'm going by, like, the trend of what people say heavy is, and it's mainly, if you were to ask people what is heavy and stuff, they're going to bring up all these deathcore bands because of these breakdowns. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's just, but I think that's more of the reason why, and I know that's going to be his answer, because, but I think that's not what's actually heavy. The reason why people go real hard with that is it's because it's easy to groove to. Super easy to groove to. What's going on with that?
He said the word.
You said
he
the
said
word.
the fucking word.
You
Is
said the
that
word.
a good thing or a bad thing?
You said
That's
the
a
word.
good ass thing.
Well,
Okay, so
I'm gonna go-
it's easy to groove to.
I'm
Why
gonna-
do people listen to radio played music? It's easy to dance to. Why do people like deathcore out of all the metal things? It's easy to mosh to. It's easy to listen to because it's just the guitarist hitting one fucking string the whole goddamn song. So,
I can expand on that.
but the drummer expresses himself a little bit more during deathcore.
Does
but
it get the booties shaking?
It gets the booty shaken, of course. Absolutely. It's easy. It's easier to listen to for most people. It's easier for people to get into metal by listening to deathcore and metalcore because it's something that they can relate to. Metalcore is like the metal pop punk. Deathcore is like the groovy metal. You know, it's like it's super easy for people to get into it, and I'm not against it. I don't personally like it, but I'm also not against it because it helps people get into metal.
Oh, really? You've been shitting on my genre like 8 times since you've been sat down.
Yeah, I'll shit on it. I'll shit on it all day long because I personally don't have an interest in it. But I
Motherfucker,
understand.
I know where you sleep.
Well, no shit. I sleep
live
beneath
together.
you.
That's not the
But-
point here.
You can fart and I'll hear you.
But yeah, if you were to like go by lyrics
no, I
and
can't.
stuff, but if you're gonna go by lyrics and stuff with our heaviest stuff, I think Forced Emotions is the most heavy thing because I wrote that basically kind of buzzed like going off of my not my previous relationship, but my first relationship that I mainly got into where I changed my personality for this person and left my friends and stuff for this person. And Jesus. And now I go by basically
It's heavy.
He's
Yeah.
crying.
Exactly.
I'm
His
shedding a
throat's in- his
tear
heart's in
right
his
now,
throat.
boys. No, but it was basically written to point out to, and I know most people probably don't actually go far into it, and you know when you try to explain something to someone with a relationship, they don't believe you. They don't
Right.
fucking care. They're in their own little world, like I was. But it's like once you're described, you got this description from a spectator side of like this person seeing you being controlled by this person. It's like it's heavy once you realize it and you notice like, oh shit, I wasted this amount of time with this person because I abandoned my friends, the people that actually do care about me, and I abandoned everything else. But yeah, and basically the song is just basically calling you fucking stupid if you're gonna stay in this and when you can be progressing in your own life and doing other things. So yeah, there's different categories of heavy. No, Corey, I don't think deathcore is heavy. I said it.
Mic drop.
Go ahead, Corey.
You drop that condenser mic, I kill you.
I think that's a
No,
pretty
I
good
won't.
answer. I'll say
Eddie might.
I'll say
He has.
my one counter kind of not argument, but a follow-up question is: do you sacrifice what you want to write in the sake of accessibility?
In Forsaken Scum, as far as I know, we have not.
No, not because I have different categories for each of my side projects, and for Forsaken Scum, I write basically as a myth story. Like it's a story about.
A tall tale.
It's just it's a fairy tale. It's a
Yeah.
it's a tale. It's like I said, it's Goosebumps. That's what Forsaken Scum is.
Yeah, because in Step Right Up, for example, right? Killer Carnival. If an actual Killer Carnival exists, they'd be all over the fucking news and they'd be fucking riots.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Intoxication Corporation, my thrash project, is basically going to be about, how like normal thrash bands sing about like anti-corporation and stuff, because I actually do feel that way against it. I feel it's fucking stupid, and I feel these people that own these corporations and stuff are absolute assholes and stuff. So yeah, it's anti-corporation themed in a
Yet
way.
you work for a failing corporation.
Absolutely. I work for a failing corporation.
He's got to get that
But,
bag.
Yeah. I got to get the money though to provide for myself to make these anti-corporation songs though, right?
You can exploit them.
Yeah.
You're
And
exploiting
then-
them.
And
So-
basically, I don't know,
corporate
man.
funded anti-corporation movements.
Fuck
I'm the-
yeah, dude.
Basically, I'm the real winner here. I'm using their money to provide.
Exactly.
But are you the real winner, though? Because you're basically using corporate money in order to fund your anti-corporate projects.
Yes. Absolutely.
He's like, fuck capitalism, but please keep giving me a paycheck.
Yeah.
Until I can make my own.
They're like,
hypocrite,
hey,
though.
we're going to give you this money. You can live and stuff. And then little do they know I'm actually going off doing this shit.
He's over here
But,
buying fucking $2 chicken breasts and
Yeah,
eating
I mean,
that,
we'll-
and then investing the rest of it in making music.
By no means this is going to stop any corporation. They're always going to continue, and they're always going to continue to grow. But it's just basically exploiting them, and as someone that works under it, just showing the true power and basically saying, stand up for your right. Don't let these people think that you need to work overtime for them, all that kind of shit,
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them think that you have to do these things because you're part of the family when you're really not.
Oh my god, I fucking hate
Yeah,
that.
they do that all the time. They're like, do
Dude,
it
even
for us.
local
And I'm like,
businesses
no,
do that
I've
shit.
got
What
my
the
own
fuck?
life.
I don't know. You shit.
Dude, that whole "we are family" gimmick, that whole thing, that's up and down the fucking ladder.
Yeah,
From
that's
local businesses to fucking corporations.
It's mainly the corporations. They make
so
you.
toxic.
It's the corporations
Yeah.
who started it, but it's
It's
because
a huge toxic relationship.
yeah. But the problem is that now it's seeped like a fucking virus. Basically, it's a spread, and now, like I said, local businesses use that whole fucking gimmick, especially restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what that's about. I don't know, man. It's about feelings and all these things exploiting. Like, hey, you don't actually have to be in these relationships. You don't have to feel like you have to love this person when you don't actually. And then like Little Bishop, that's just a shit post.
Sure. I respect it.
That is you are a human shit post, my
Yeah,
friend.
That's just a shit post.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
All
decent
right.
answer.
Corey, let's hear it.
Let's
All
hear
right.
the hot take.
He's been holding it in.
Okay.
tone tuning production.
Tone tuning production. So
he
you
actually believes this, my guys.
so you classify heavy as instrumentation.
So I do not share the same emotional connection to lyrics like everyone else does. I am purely an instrumentalist. I focus on the instruments. I don't.
Real quick, I didn't either until I started writing lyrics, but go ahead.
Okay, how is this relevant to me though?
No, I'm just saying, like, I was the same way. Like, I was always about I would listen to instrumentals. I would just only listen to music. Even with Blink-182, I only cared about the sound and how the vocals sounded. I never paid attention to the
Well, the
lyrics.
difference is between you and me, my friend, is that basically you're also a vocalist. I am not,
Well,
and
now
I will never
am.
be, and I will never claim to be.
But I
and
never
will
was
attempt it.
before.
Well, true, but once again, you're now in that realm,
Right.
And so therefore, you have that understanding.
I guess that's what I'm saying is
vo-
like, yeah, once you get into that thing and you start writing and you're like, oh shit, these actually mean something.
I will. I don't ever see myself.
Well, that's
doing anything
fine.
like that. So
Music speaks for itself as well. That's why there's
this is also
instrumentals.
very very true.
I'm pretty much in the exact same camp as Corey. Everything you're talking about is pretty much going to be speaking for me as well.
All right, cool. So apparently, I'm also speaking for Gavin.
Yep.
You're speaking for half of me because I believe music speaks for itself as well.
True. So in which case, it's tuning, tone, and production. Mainly more so on tone and production. Especially when I explore the heavier elements of like metalcore and deathcore and everything. That's when tuning started having a factor into it. Like now, like I always give him shit because he's still playing on a 6, and I came from bands playing on 8 and drop E and lower.
Right.
So in which case, so for me, tuning is definitely big. I personally, when I write my own guitar, which I do on VSTs, just to clarify, I'm not an actual guitarist. Don't at me. I just demo it. Fuck off. Anyway, so but everything I've ever been writing as of recent hasn't been in double drop C for some reason. All double drop C.
Jesus.
I love that tuning. I don't know why. It's really just, I like the fullness of, like, and once again, it also comes into production.
He likes having 2 basses.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not
Or,
right.
or 3 basses, right?
You're gonna have to show me a song that has
4 bass.
double drop C in it, because I don't
I
even know
wrote
what you're
one.
talking about.
I have actually
Literally
written
just
like
sounds
3.
like a bass.
Okay, so like Darko.
So yeah, basically,
Yeah,
okay. So
pretty
basically,
close.
any
Okay.
Darko
Pretty
song.
close to that.
But anyway, yeah. So basically, for me, if it's heavy, it's the tone of how the tone is shaped, and basically, I don't really know how to describe that really. I don't know, like the raw aggressive. Well, not even really raw, but like aggressiveness of like, say, like you guys listen to Body Snatcher at all?
Not really. I don't think I can't
what's
name
a good
a song.
Traders?
The band Traders?
Yes.
No, oh, wait, is it a song?
I
or
feel
a
like I've
band?
heard of the band, but no.
I haven't heard the
I
band.
haven't
Then.
listened
Okay,
to it.
I'll show you guys later. But basically, with those bands, they're like really slow, all in 8 string, drop E or lower, and basically with those bands, they kind of have like a more gentler. They basically, what they did was that they kind of took more of like the gent element, just the raw gent, and not made it like a polyrhythm. But they made it groovy. They made it groovy, and a lot slower with that, a lot of it. And so in which case, everything's like a little bit simplified, but it's still really heavy, but because they also include a lot of production, which means they put a fuck ton of compression, they put a lot more reverb in certain places, like especially like if the guitar doesn't fill, if it does not fill up my ears in my headphones, that's not heavy to me. If it doesn't kick me in the ear, is not heavy. And if I don't feel like basically wanting to punch the ever living fuck out of this dude every time I listen to a song, I don't want to listen to it. That's not heavy to me, and it's not stimulating.
He
to me.
means if the drums overpower the guitar, because that's what deathcore is.
So
Some
with,
mixes, yes. Others, no.
I
depends
completely
on the
agree
mix.
about deathcore. Honestly, I think the drums are way overpowered in deathcore songs.
Both of you get
But
the
that's
fuck
where
out
they
of my
shine.
house.
No, but that's where they shine, though. You even said it. That's where they shine. Is the drummer can express themselves more in a groovy way,
Right.
Yeah.
and that's totally fine. That's the genre. Me as a guitarist, I get bored of it because all I hear is dun dun dun, and I'm like, dude, a fucking 3-year-old can play that.
Fair enough, but then
Dumb
it's
guy
also
riffs,
like
right?
okay, but then it's like also like okay, for example, like okay, stupid example, but it also resonates with the old heads. Metallica, right?
Sure.
So Metallica's drumming is extremely simple,
Yeah, but it's
Right.
fucking awesome.
debatable.
Why?
Well, I mean, because it's groovy. It fits the song.
It's thrash groovy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in which case, but on a guitar end of things, unless you're playing like a really popular song, like a lot of their stuff, especially their solos, are pretty decently hard. Am I correct?
Yeah. I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
Okay. So in which case,
It's not annoying, yeah.
well, you're also way more of a technical guitarist. So that's kind of so that answer is going to vary. I understood that.
Yeah, disclaimer, I'm not a huge fan of crazy solos and thrash music. It sounds all the same to me.
Well,
Like, it-
true, but the ability in order to play it
Yeah, it's
isn't-
definitely
is a lot
technical.
harder.
Yeah.
That's okay. So that's what that was the answer I asked for. Was
Right.
asking for. Thank you. So once again for me, like I said, it's because I don't have that connection of lyrics unless I'm like listening to Spite, where it's just overly fucking obvious, where you're in a psychotic rage. Fantastic, but if it's not blatantly obvious in the lyrics, or let me phrase that, in the vocals, really the instrumentation, its tone, its production, and its tuning to an extent is what dictates heavy for me.
Okay.
Because
So
like going from like listening to like heavier bands now, like Body Snatcher or Darko, for example, right? But then you go listen to like Job for a Cowboy in like '08. Complete night and day difference. Once again, that's actually like, I guarantee that if you took that, if you took the raw files of '08 Doom, right?
Yeah.
And you took that and applied that to having the drummer of Amur mixing the shit out of it, basically the way that he would for Darko, night and day difference still. So once again, production plays a very heavy portion into it. And then, like I said, tuning to an extent.
So with the tone and the tuning, have you ever listened to Sun?
Yes.
Would you say that's heavy?
Yes, but it is way too slow for me.
So it's not groovy.
It's not good.
So is it heavy?
So yeah, it's okay. So I see where you're going. Yes. So technically, yes, it would be heavy, but I personally don't vibe with it.
So it's not heavy.
It
to
sounds
you.
heavy. It sounds heavy by all means.
So you think
That's
it's more of
heavy.
a 1 or 0. It either is or isn't. Whereas some other person could be like, it's heavy to me. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I think. You know what I think is heavy. I don't think it's an overall.
And there's
Well,
there's
but you
a
don't like
spectrum.
it is what I'm trying to say. Is like you wouldn't listen to Sun because you don't like it, but you admit that it's heavy?
So as a person who is both a drummer and a person with ADHD, I thrive on overstimulation, and I get that mainly from listening to metal.
Right.
And so with that being said, like, I can't. But for some reason, what I noticed over the years as I've listened to music more so, I don't know why I said it like that. That was weird. Like just more and more, basically. I started going from like listening to things that were more like up and down the scale, up and down the octaves, right, to more of everything being on the low end, or at least 60, sometimes 90% of it being on the low end. For example, like, for fuck's sake, Darko.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just using that since you guys know know that.
Yeah,
know
I'm
that band.
familiar.
So like bands like Darko, like that, like I personally vibe more with the low end of things, lower tunings, more bass. Hell, I mean, I can't stand rap beats that have no 808s in it.
Yeah, I think rap without 808s is kind of cringe. That's just me though.
Yeah. And which is a lot of older stuff, in which case, and because I do have this opinion, and because I feel this way, that's why I don't listen to bands like Pearl Jam. I don't listen to Megadeth. I don't listen to like older music like that,
The
because
production is weaker, maybe.
the production's very, very weak on it, and on top of that, it doesn't sound like there's any low end. It sounds, frankly, it's all high registry, almost clipping sometimes.
Right.
So because I was also a production student, that it kind of seals my opinion in that more so.
Actually, I know what you're saying. I've had this conversation with you too, and it's like,
Yes, we've had this
I feel
conversation
like it's
at least
not
30
it's
times.
not fair because they didn't have the technology at the time.
You're correct.
But
You're definitely
they
correct
had
on
a
that.
lot of great ideas. Like, you guys listened to the band Death.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Chuck fucking inspired me a lot with like how he changes up so much during his songs and stuff, and still makes it
sorry.
fit. And then the dude
Okay,
fucking
okay.
died of like brain cancer in 2001, and all these other bands came in to make a fundraiser to try and save him, but it didn't work.
Not sorry.
But
Kidding,
wow,
kidding.
you're gonna get
Savage.
kicked off real fast.
No, no, okay.
No, but-
I do not support brain cancer.
For,
Thank you.
I
for
don't
legal
support
reasons, that was a joke.
For those of you out there with brain cancer,
Because I agree with you to a large extent that production is a large factor of the heaviness and emotion.
Right.
Because emotion is what I tied to my heavy attribute.
Yeah, like take I let it in and it took everything by loath.
Exactly. That's an extremely emotionally heavy song.
Right, but
Not
like,
only in the lyricism and vocals, the production overall, the tuning, everything about it is heavy. That's irrefutable.
Mm-hmm.
So I would argue with that. I'm not really arguing. I'm agreeing in the production sense because I am emotionally stimulated by a lot of EDM.
okay.
EDM, it overstimulates to the point where it brings I've actually like been brought to like tears by EDM before because of how
Really?
emotionally like stimulating it is.
Really, for me, it doesn't. For me, like it's a lack of intellectual. No, I'm not saying it's a stupid genre or anything, but like,
Right, yeah,
it's-
yeah.
For me, it's not. It doesn't tickle my brain. That's where EDM falls short for me.
it all
That's fair.
It all points to where you display it and like how you display it. Because, like, there's a song that can make me go into tears, and, like, for a lot of people, it won't make them go into tears. It's, like, a 90s song. You guys probably remember it. It was called Standing Outside a Phone Booth with No Money in My Hand. Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with No Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods.
I never heard it.
Never
No?
even heard of it.
No.
It was on the
I've
radio
heard
in
this
the
song
90s.
before. I didn't know who it was, and then when you finally showed it to me, I was just like, "What the fuck? I've heard this on the radio."
Yeah, it was on the radio for a while, and that song would always bring me to tears for some reason. And I don't know why, but it's just a really sad song to me.
Yeah.
But for other people, no.
Dude, there are songs there are courses in Periphery songs that have brought me like close because of just how emotional it feels to me.
Really, with the amount of shit that you've talked about Periphery.
Wait, what?
No,
Wait.
no, that's his favorite band.
Oh,
That's probably
okay,
me
my
you're
bad.
thinking
I'm
of.
getting someone else confused. That's
probably,
my fault.
Probably me.
Oh, well, there's like
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
I only like their instrumental album.
rip.
Oh,
That's big sad.
same.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, but anyway, yeah, there's some of the choruses in their songs are stupid. Like I just love.
Don't worry, Tyler. I love Periphery.
Thank you. At least one person in my whole life agrees with me about that.
Well, they play a fucking 20 string, so Corey likes it.
Oh, their new stuff is 6-string.
They
Give me
play
a break.
in
Really?
They
Yeah.
play in double drop Q, bro.
Double drop Q.
They have songs in fucking GCG, EAD, or DA, whatever the fuck. Basically, drop C with a bottom string on G. But it's all 6-string nowadays, mostly.
Interesting. So it's like what, like 2 steps lower? No, higher.
You said G, C,
G.
G?
So
C-
it's drop C, and then the bottom string is G.
C, D.
C, G,
Fuck.
C?
So it's 4 steps lower.
Yeah.
Are you talking about, did you say C, G, C?
I think I meant to say GCG.
G, C. So it's like drop G.
Yeah. And the rest of the
6
strings
string?
are in
On a
standard.
6-string, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. I
Like-
play in drop B on a 6 string, but
Like on the song, I know for a fact, there's a couple of songs, but I know for a fact the song Reptile on their newest album is in drop G on a 6-string. But
They've
it's,
always played in drop G though.
yeah, they love that tuning.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way that they express it, through their soloing, because that's where a lot of their like emotional aspect comes for me, is the soloing. Because there's 3 guys, you're getting 3 different like perspectives in each song for the most part, and I think that's just super heavy. And so it fucking sometimes it brings me to the point where I'm like I'm choking on my fucking throat. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that's fucking.
yeah, they're definitely an interesting band. I just never cared for the vocals, and that turned me off, and that's why I said I love that instrumental album by them. But
Yeah.
Ooh, we have come to the best part of the podcast. There's a cat in my lap.
oh shit!
Nah, it's not the best.
That's
part,
actually
but
the driving. Following on what I've said for the past like 8 episodes of, for the past like 5 episodes of our podcast, and now this one. Fucking vocals are everything I think about in the song, and that's like the whole reason I like Periphery mostly is the vocalist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So it's
can-
funny you say
Spencer
that.
Sattel is fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's godlike. I fucking dream about singing as well as him.
So heavy.
Dream about his balls.
Yeah.
It is balls.
Oh, singing as well as him. All I heard was about singing his balls. I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Corey
I
has
meant-
balls on his mind. Right?
Exactly.
So what is Tyler's take on what is heavy? Let's hear it.
Yeah,
We have
let's
time
hear
for
that.
that?
I'm
We have
curious
time
now.
for what I think is heavy.
Oh, it's time.
I kind of like. I feel like I covered it a little bit, but to expand,
Yeah.
it's for me. Yeah, like I said, I've covered it a lot. I don't want to sound like a broken record or anything, but it's like, if the song could be fucking zeros, right? I don't think that a song is like heavy because it chugs, or like, the walks where they're like jin 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 jin. Like I don't think that's heavy to me because it doesn't evoke emotions. You know what I mean? Like it's like
The power chord chugs.
yeah. It's like heavy.
The dying fetus chugs.
Yeah, right. It's like there's no. I'm not gonna say there's nothing behind it because it does take a guitarist to do that, right? Like I don't want to discredit anyone that plays like that, but for me personally, since I'm asking it on an emotion, like on a personal basis, I don't find that inspiring because that's what heavy is to me, is inspiring. If it inspires me to feel a way, to make my own music a certain way, that's what I think is heavy, because it'll either.
So emotionally heavy.
Right. That's it, and it takes a lot for me to be emotionally connected to a song. Like there's a certain way that it has to be played so that I'm that I lock into it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why I
I
don't-
see what you're saying because anyone can just pick up a fucking 8-string and just start chugging away on it, and then all of a sudden Corey will say, "Yeah, that's heavy."
yeah, like I don't.
mean,
that's just
Corey,
where we
you
disagree
could fucking pick up
personally.
an 8-string right now and start chugging away, and then you think your own creation is heavy.
Like I don't, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think. I think
not
it's
bad.
I think it's actually a good thing that everyone has their own opinions of this kind of thing because
And I'm only
music is
3
for everyone.
paychecks away from doing that.
Shit, he's going for the Abasi fucking.
There you go. Corey's way to heavy is money.
Fair enough. No, but like I think songs in fucking drop C. I think songs in E standard are heavy. Are you familiar with the band fucking Bill Murray?
Oh yeah, you showed me this band.
Fucking Bill Murray it's a one-man band, and it's the fucking guitarist of Attack Attack from back in the day. He left Attack Attack after fucking Austin got in the hospital and like arrested or whatever the fuck for all his shenanigans.
I don't know these people. I just know the band Attack.
Was it the
Attack.
Asian dude?
No, he was the tall fucking skinny dude.
He was always in the purple shirt in the studio video.
I think so.
Oh, it's that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me that, did you?
So Johnny Frank, that's his name. He's
Okay.
the guitarist and like the secondary singer, mainly uncleans for fucking Attack Attack. He left. He was the guy with the big ass fro from the video. He had giant fros. That was him. Now he does his own thing, Bill Murray, where it's like emo, fucking like post-hard. Actually, it's not post-hardcore. It's like
Wait, he wasn't a guitarist. He was the bassist.
no, he was the guitarist.
He was.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
And he been like, and so he's the dude who always sang in autotune all the time.
Yes, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Turns out he can actually sing like a fucking maniac, and now he has a new record, Eggy Pocket, but he has like a bunch of other ones before that. But basically, it's like emo rock, where it's in E standard or like drop D or whatever, and that shit is some of the heaviest music I've heard in the last like 10 years. And it's in E standard, and he barely does any screaming. Like, if you have a chance to listen to it, please listen to it. It's so good. I fucking put our buddy Gongson on it, and he doesn't listen to any heavy music, and he fucking loves it. Like, that's how I know it's got something. You know what I mean? Like, it's so influential, and everything I play, like, all the riffs I play are like, they're either dumb simple or like they fucking make me feel some type of emotion. That's kind of like a spiel in one go.
Okay, and then like, and also to kind of touch back. Okay, so I lied about the emotional part. There are very, 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 very like a small amount, like a very, very finite amount of songs where like I really feel like any sort of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about heavy would be like I wouldn't like classify them as heavy, but I understand where you guys coming from and where like, okay, you feel a heavy amount of emotion. So is that like the classification that we go with or let you go with basically?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be completely honest. Most heavy metal I don't like.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like thrash metal, not a huge fan. Black metal, not a
he
huge.
hates us then.
Wow.
And I like, and that's
Wow.
that's the fucking disparity that is interesting with our relationship. Is I fucking respect your music and I like it because I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest because we're fucking honest with each other.
Right.
I wouldn't listen to your music on my own just because of the genre that it is. You know what I
That's
mean?
completely fine.
And that's, I think, an important like distinction to make is like you can support your friends and what they do, but you might not listen to it every day. You know what I mean?
No, I see exactly where you're coming from. And honestly, like this is my first thrash band, so like I don't know. So it's like this band has been very, very
thrash. Jesus.
well. It's okay. So, but its main underline is thrash.
Yeah. So like
Its
most
main underline is thrash. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Damn, Eddie missed a good bit of that fucking conversation. That's
Yeah. Right.
I mean, only like 2 of our songs are thrashy, but
Yeah, I
But
mean, like the ones that we've been putting out recently haven't been like complete thrash.
like anything of I'm gonna broaden my swath here. I think I can confidently say anything above like 170 BPM is too much for me. I don't
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't
Okay.
think anything above that is accessible to me whatsoever.
Okay.
That also depends too.
okay,
because
so
you
never
can also
ever
double
play-
time it and all that.
Right.
So-
Yeah,
right?
that's also a
like-
consideration to have.
Like Stranded by Gojira is 186.
Yeah.
But it could also be 98 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it depends.
Yeah.
Like
So,
speed metal and stuff
never-
like that. I can't. Technical metal, like it's too much for me.
It depends though, because I also listen to a lot of extreme technical death metal bands, and like some of them I understand, but I don't want to play that because
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna reach the audience. So I try to reach a medium between like something that's fun to listen to, but also technical at the same time.
I respect
So
that.
then, in which case, that also kind of further answers the question: do we kind of accommodate for accessibility? Yes, we do.
Yeah,
And
but
even then
but the
it's-
thing
even
is,
then
I'm not
it's-
selling out. I actually enjoy playing that stuff.
Well, yeah, so do
That's
I.
just smart. That just makes sense. Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Life is full of compromises, and that's just one of them. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Could I go full hard and just play like a bunch of these technical riffs and sound like brain drill? And like, yeah, if I really
Oh,
work
fuck that
towards
band.
it, yeah, if
I
I
love-
work towards it, yeah, I would.
I
but
love
it's
that
like,
band. I do. I can't stand them for more than 20 minutes.
yeah, it's like that's not what I want. I want people to like jam out to us and have fun.
Right.
But
Like I hear. Remember that fucking thing, Rob Brown. Fucking, you know what he says about 30-second notes. You can only listen to him for about 30 seconds before that shit gets annoying, and I feel that.
He's obviously never listened to Infinite Annihilator then.
Exactly.
see, I can only withstand like, so much of them too. Like it's fun. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's like it's there.
Yeah, like the
It's like-
ridiculous.
it's there.
It's there, and it's like, yeah, they did this, but I mean, we all know they can't do it live. But it's just fun. It's just a fun thing to be like, okay, I'll show my friend. The same thing I say to Eddie too, like with Arcspire. Like, you guys know Arcspire?
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, well you know 'em.
Yeah, but
them,
Steven
I
Pruitt
like
can
showing.
actually. Yeah, but Pruitt can actually play that shit though.
No, they can. That's not what my point is. I'm saying with me personally, it's like a fun band, and I'll show my friends to it, but it's not something you'll find me listening to on my daily basis.
Yeah,
It's just something like, hey, my new friend, listen to this fucking band that-
Ridiculous shit.
yeah, and he sounds like fucking Tech Nine, but with screaming, and it's like this is cool.
On
but
top of that, he likes to make jokes about his guitarist's dead grandma on stage.
there you go.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, dude, Oliver's a fucking madman. I love the guy.
I love his personality. He's a great fucking person.
Yeah.
Like to like hear these jokes from and dialogue.
It's
Now
so
that Eddie's
great.
back, I kind of want to just expand on mine just a little bit more.
Go for it.
Well, real quick,
well,
we
eventually we
did
do have-
surpass our half hour.
Oh shit, we did.
And plus, we still have we still have Gavin's explanation too.
Okay, yeah. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
You've said this before about Darko, right? You're like, why do you like this and nothing else like this? I don't know. I don't know why I like Darko and nothing else like it.
Thanks for joining us for this lovely episode of Skumcast. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode as well as like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to stay up to date with all of our content. Thank you for listening, you scumbags.